Welcome to Two Witness Teaching Program. Two Witness, a Bible teaching program to change and transform people. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Let's dive into it.
I'd like to begin the book of Ecclesiastes, and in your outline you'll see at the top of the outline the theme, the vanity of earthly things versus the knowledge and service of God. Time, written probably in King Solomon's old age, and then you see a breakdown of all the chapters and the subjects of the chapters. Let's cover the purpose. Number one, to show mankind the foolishness of putting trust in anything other than God. Number two, to comfort the godly, showing them how to face the trials of life. With that, we'll begin with chapter 1, verse 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities. All is vanity. So he said vanity here a lot of times. And he's already begins with this declaration of despair that everything is completely meaningless, empty. Verse 3, what profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The world continues on in the same manner. He saw this. He knew there was a generation before him. He came on the scene. There's going to come a generation after him, and it's basically going to go on the same way. Verse 5, the sun also arises, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. It's a cycle. It's something that reoccurs. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. So things go on and on and on and on. All things are full of labor, and this labor here is tiresome work. Man cannot utter it, cannot tell the full of it, of all that's going on, all the work that's going on. The eyes are not satisfied with seeing. Man's eyes aren't satisfied with seeing. He has to see more. The ear is not filled with the hearing. He has to hear more. So he continues on in his pursuits in this world. He's going to build something bigger and better. The music goes on. He has to develop something better. Eyes, our senses, everything cannot be satisfied, and all the work continues on that men are doing in this life. But it's all vain. It's all vanity. The thing that hath been, that is what shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is nothing new, there's no new thing under the sun. Verse 10, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things. Men forget things in the past, and they pop up, and they think it's like new. Especially, you can see this in fashion trends. So, oh, that's come back again. Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are come to those that shall come after. This occurs over and over again. I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. And I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of men to be exercised therewith. And I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, this is the summation, all that mankind are doing, it's all vanity and vexation of spirit. Vanity meaning it's empty, it's fruitless, it's pointless. All the things, all man's endeavors in the world are going to lead to nothing. That which is crooked cannot be made straight. It's hopeless. And that which is wanting cannot be numbered. Things that need to be done, that should be done, you can't even count them. I communed with my own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate. I've prospered. I'm the king. I've gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great knowledge of wisdom and experience of wisdom and knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly, to learn of all things. And I perceived that this also was vexation of spirit. In the end I was troubled, I was disturbed by what I saw. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Chapter 2. I said in my heart, Go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure. And behold, this is vanity. It was empty. I tried living for pleasures only, but it was not satisfying. And he had the ability to do that. He had enough wealth and power. He could have anything he wanted. And he got anything he wanted, and it wasn't satisfying. It was vanity. I said of laughter, It is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine, yet accompanying my heart with wisdom. And I believe he's speaking of here kind of a moderation. Well, I'll give myself over to some pleasure, and then I also will seek wisdom as well. Kind of mixing wisdom with more of a moderate pursuit of pleasures. Yet equating myself with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, that I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. And these are the things that I did. I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruits. I made me pools of water to water therewith, the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasures of kings of the provinces. I gat me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. And whatsoever my eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. But verse 11 says, Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit. There was no profit under the sun. It did not bring me satisfaction. And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. I tried everything. For what can a man do that cometh after the king, even that which hath been already done? Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly. He admits this. I mean, he tried to live a carefree life of pleasure only. He tried to mix pleasure with wisdom. And he says, well, I must admit, I saw that wisdom excels folly. In fact, it does as far as light excels darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, or they're in their proper place. A wise man, he can see. But the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceiveth also that one event happens to all men. All men, they're born, all men live, all men die. There's certain things that happen to all mankind. Then I said in my heart, It has happened to the fool, so it happeth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this is also vanity. There's no more remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall be forgotten. How dieth the wise man? As the fool. They both die and they're forgotten. Therefore, he said, I hated life. I despaired. I was depressed. Because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous to me. All my labors, I didn't have joy in them. I didn't have pleasure in them. I know they're all going to become nothing in the future. The next generation is going to come. I'm going to be forgotten, and no one's going to care about anything I did. So I was depressed. For all vanity, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Verse 18, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I had labored, and wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun. This is vanity. This is empty. This is fruitless. I'm going to leave everything that I've built up, everything I've worked for, onto another person who may just squander it away. And we do. We leave everything behind when we die. Verse 20, Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun. It's completely hopeless. All is vanity. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and in knowledge, and in equity. Yet to a man that hath not labored therein shall he leave it for his portion. This also is vanity and a great evil. A wise man will eventually turn over all his wealth to fools. It will come to fools who will lose it all. For what hath man of all his labor, and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun? For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief, yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. This is also vanity. Verse 24, There is nothing better for a man than he should just eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. That also I saw, that it was from the hand of God. For who can eat, and who else hasteneth thereunto more than I? For God giveth to man that is good, and God giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom and knowledge and joy. But to the sinner he giveth travail, to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before God. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. There's an underlying grief and sadness in understanding the condition of this world. We have to purpose to be happy, content, and not be anxious by focusing on God and eternal things. That's the only place where we can get this satisfaction that everything we're doing just won't turn to nothing. Chapter 3, To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. There's a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted. And remember, he's talking about this cycle. He's already described how the water flows into the sea, and the water goes back, and the winds blow around, and they come back. Well, he's just describing more of the same scenario, that there's a time, there's a cycle in the earth. Men die. Men are born. Men die. There's a time that you plant. There's a time when you pluck up that which is planted. There's a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and there's a time to refrain from embracing. There's a time to get, a time to lose, a time to keep, a time to cast away, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silent, and a time to speak. There's a time to love, a time to hate, and a time of war, and a time of peace. So what profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised with. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. The first part of the verse shows us God has his intent, his purpose is always good, that something would be beautiful and good. But man, he lacks understanding. Man doesn't know exactly how God's going to bring that about. He doesn't know exactly the timing of it. So man has to trust in God. Verse 12, I know that there is no good in them, in things, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life. So this is where you're going to be satisfied, to do good in your life. Verse 13, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor is the gift of God. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nothing can be taken from it, and God doeth it that men should fear before him. God is eternal. If anything's going to stand, you better get attached to God. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which is past. And moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. And I believe he's speaking of places of authority and mankind, the place of judgment, or with the king, or the place of righteousness, and the religious system, and the priest in the temple. There was iniquity there. There was sin there. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked. And this is a time, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. And again, understanding our knowledge is limited. Certainly God's going to judge wickedness in high places, and he does that even in this lifetime in the earth, but we're not exactly sure how he's going to do that. We're not exactly sure when he's going to do that. There's a time, and he'll bring it about, but we don't know. But we know how his character, and we'll know that he'll do that. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. And that's a condition that men have lowered themselves to be like brute beasts, without God. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts, and even one thing befalleth them. As the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. And that's true without God. All go unto one place, and all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Or who knows what happens in the next life? We've never been there. We don't know what happens. Wherefore I perceive that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion. Or be content with doing the work God has given to you. For who shall bring him to see what shall be after him? Don't worry about what is in the future. And he's just said how that brought him great anxiety, but he's coming to realize, you just need to do your portion in this life, what God has given to you. And you don't know what is going to happen in the future, but be happy doing what God has given you to do. Chapter 4. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead, which are already dead, more than the living, which are yet alive. Or I considered those who have left this life to be happier than those who are here living in it. Verse 3, Yea, better is he than both they which have not yet been, who hath not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Again, I consider all travail and every right work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. A righteous man for his good labors is not honored, but envied. And this is a vexation of spirit. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. Better is an handful with quietness than both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Then I returned, and I saw vanity under the sun. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he hath neither child or brother, yet is there no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, For whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity, yea, it is a sore travail. And this verse is saying, here's a man who has no family to share his gain with. He has no offspring to pass it on to, yet he works as hard as he can to get more in this life. How empty that is. Verse 9, two are better than one. And this is where it's at, relationship, first with God and with your fellow man. There is no happiness without those relationships. So two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. And if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a three-fold cord is not quickly broken. So he's contrasting the acquiring of wealth for its own sake versus the having relationships with people that can be satisfying and helpful. First with God, we know, because we have a good understanding of that, and then with our fellow man. Having those healthy relationships, that's where we get joy. Verse 13, Better is a poor and wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. For out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. So just the circumstances can change. A prisoner can become king. A king can become a pauper, just based on things that can happen in this world, in this life. And I considered all the living which walk under the sun with a second child that shall stand up in his stead. And there is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this is also a vanity and vexation of spirit. Chapter 5, verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. So listen and be slow to speak. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon the earth, therefore let thy words be few. So don't commit to something hastily. Consider if you're going to promise something to God or promise something to your fellow man. Verse 3, For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by a multitude of words. Verse 4, when thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. It would be better that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. And we know this with Ananias and Sapphira, Acts chapter 5, verse 1. And suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel, it was an error, it was a mistake. I made that promise, but it was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands? Use wisdom. Don't commit to things that you're not going to follow through with. For in the multitude of dreams and many words there are also diverse vanities, but fear thou God. If thou seest the oppression of the poor, and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth. God sees, and God will judge, and there be higher than they. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. Men never are satisfied with what they have. Verse 11, when goods increase, they are increased that eat them. And what good is there to the owners thereof, saving the beholding of them with their own eyes? Or more things require more maintenance. If you have more things, you need more money to take care of your things. And then you're just consumed on your things. Verse 12, the sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much. But the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. He can't go to bed with a good conscience. There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches kept for the owners thereof to their own hurt. You might be miserly, but it will eventually wind up to your own hurt. You'll lose it all. Those riches perish by evil travail, and he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. He'll lose it all. Verse 15, as he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall take nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. Verse 16, and this also is a sore evil, that in all points as he came, so shall he go. And what profit hath he that hath labored for the wind? Nothing in the end. All his days also he eateth in darkness, and he hath much sorrow and wrath with his sickness. The rich aren't really happy, but fearful, sorrowful, sick in their spirit. Behold, that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor, that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him. Be satisfied, happy with what God has given you, for it is his portion. Happy with what you have, not greedy for more, but happy with what God has given you. Every man also to whom God hath given riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of God. For he shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answereth him in the joy of his heart. Or he'll forget the adversity, hardship that he's had, because he's content with serving God and the joy that he gets from that. Chapter 6. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is common among men. A man to whom God hath given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he wanteth nothing for his soul of all that he desireth. Yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth it. This is vanity, and is an evil disease or anxiety, calamity to the man. And if a man beget 100 children, and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial, I say that he is an untimely birth is better than he, or if he was stillborn, it would be better. For he cometh in with vanity, and departeth in darkness, and his name shall be covered with darkness. Moreover, he that hath not seen the sun, nor any thing, this hath more rest than the other. Again, speaking of an untimely birth. Yea, though he live 1,000 years twice told, yet hath he seen no good. Do not all go to one place. So long life is actually like a curse. If you're not using it for God, all you're doing is extending your suffering here. You have no peace in your heart, and where you're going to, you're not going to have any either. All the labor of man is for his mouth, and yet the appetite is not filled. We read that before. The eyes, the ears can never be satisfied, neither can the mouth. For what hath the wise more than the fool? What hath the poor that knoweth to walk before the living? Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. So be happy, be content with what you have. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. That which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man, neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he. Seeing there be many things that increase vanity, what is man the better? For who knoweth what is good for man in this life? All the days of his vain life which he spendeth as a shadow. Who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? Man's knowledge is limited. He doesn't know what's going to come after him. He should be content with what the task God has given him and what God has given to him to live with and on, and not be lusting other things. Chapter 7, verse 1, a good name is better than precious ointment. A godly reputation is precious. And the day of death than the day of one's birth. Okay, that'd be to live in this world. For the righteous, it's a rest when you die. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter. Yes, if someone considers that and changes. For by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. They don't want to hear. They don't want to contemplate what life's all about. They just want to fill up their life with frivolous things, fun, exciting things that gratify the senses. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. For as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This also is vanity. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. Be patient. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. We've seen that before, how he says, be slow to speak. Consider before you do. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Here we are, verse 11. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. If you have wisdom, so there is something profitable. Wisdom from God. Verse 12, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So, wisdom is better than money. It brings spiritual life. Verse 13, consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? In the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider. God hath also set the one over against another, to the end that man should find nothing after him. Consider, adversity can come, we know, for many reasons, a time of testing, proving, or judgment from God. So consider, what is the reason for adversity in your life. Verse 15, all things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a just man that perisheth in his righteousness. There is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in his wickedness. Be not righteous overmuch, neither make thyself overwise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Use wisdom and discretion in pursuing righteousness. And let's read on a little bit further before we comment more on that, because that sounds a little bit wrong. Like, don't get too righteous. Don't get too overzealous here. Be not overmuch wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? It is good that thou shouldest takest hold of this, yea, also from this withdraw not thine hand, for he that feareth God shall come forth of them all. So the end result is good for a righteous man. As he said before, we don't know exactly the timing, when God's going to do something, what he's going to do, but it is going to work out for the righteous man. But the righteous man should also have discretion. We've seen before, a wise man doesn't tell everything that he knows. So this is a way to understand this: be not overzealous, be not righteous over much. There's a good way to go forth with the gospel. There's a good way to go forth with sharing what you know with other people. There's a time, there's a season, there's a place, there's a time to be quiet, there's a time to speak. But you need to be sensitive to the Holy Spirit, so that you're going along with him in his plan. Otherwise, if you're not using discretion, bad things could happen to you that are just your own doing, because you're being foolish with the truth you have. You're telling everyone everything you know. God didn't call you to do that, and you may suffer by doing that, and God never intended for that. Verse 19, wisdom strengthened the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city. For there is not a just man upon the earth that doeth good and sinneth not. And this is the understanding we get from Romans 3:23. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. That's true. Verse 21, also take no heed unto all words that are spoken, lest thou hear thy servant curse thee. For oftentimes also thine own heart knoweth that thou thyself likewise hast cursed others. So, verse 23, all this have I proved by wisdom. I said, I will be wise, but it was far from me. That which is far off and exceeding deep, who can find it out? I applied my heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. Again he's saying, I sought to know all things. And I found more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all these have I not found. Lo, this only have I found, that God hath made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Chapter 8. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. I counsel thee to keep the king's commandment, and that in regard of the oath of God. Obey God and those in authority. Be not hasty to go out of his sight. Stand not in an evil thing, for he doeth whatsoever pleaseth him, or do not disobey him. Where the word of the king is, there is power. And who may say unto him, What doest thou? Or question what he's doing. Same with God, same with those in authority over us. Whosoever keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing. If you do what's right and you're obedient, you won't receive judgment. And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. Discretion again. The wise have good discretion. There's a time to speak, there's a time to be quiet. Because to every purpose there is time and judgment. Therefore the misery of man is great upon him. For he knoweth not that which shall be, and who can tell him when it shall be? Man's knowledge is limited, and he doesn't know when God will take action, when he'll judge. Verse 8, there is no man that hath power over the Spirit to retain the Spirit. Man has no power over death. Neither hath he power in the day of death. And there is no discharge in that war. Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. Verse 9, and all this have I seen, and applied my heart unto every work that is done under the sun. There is a time wherein one man ruleth over another to his own hurt, or God will judge wicked rulers. If you rule to your own hurt, you've been an unrighteous ruler, and God will bring it back to you. And I saw the wicked buried, who had come and gone from the place of the holy, and they were forgotten in the city where they had so done. This is also vanity. Verse 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. And though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. Verse 13, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. His judgment's coming. There is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there be just men, unto whom it happen according to the work of the wicked. Again, there be wicked men, to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous. I said that this also is vanity. Occasionally things do seem to work backwards. Perhaps some wicked men, perhaps because of wicked men and their persecution of the righteous, that oppression comes to the righteous. But it doesn't come from God. Then I commended mirth, because a man hath no better thing under the sun than to eat, to drink, and be merry, for that shall abide with him of his labor the days of his life, which God hath given under the sun. When I applied my heart to know wisdom, and to see the business that is done upon the earth, for also there is that neither day nor night seeth sleep with his eyes. Some men deprive themselves of sleep for all of their vain pursuits. They work on and on and on, and don't even sleep. Then I beheld all the work of God, that a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun. Because though a man labor to seek it out, yet he shall not find it. Yea, further, though a wise man think to know it, yet shall he not be able to find it. Again, man's knowledge is limited. Chapter 9, for all this I considered in my heart, even to declare all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hand of God. It will work out all right. He said that before here. It will be well with them that fear God. Back in chapter 8, verse 12. They're in the hand of God. No man knoweth either love or hatred by all that is before them. And I believe this last part of the verse is saying, merely by looking at the circumstances in people's life, you can't tell whether they're in favor with God or out of favor with God. So no man knoweth either love or hatred by all that is before them. Verse 2, all things come alike to all. There is one event to the righteous and to the wicked, to the good and to the clean and the unclean, to him that sacrificeth, to him that sacrificeth not. As is the good, so is the sinner, and he that sweareth as he that feareth an oath. Verse 3, this is an evil among all things that are done under the sun, that there is one event unto all, yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil, and madness is in their heart while they live, and after that they go to the dead. Verse 4, for to him that is joined to all the living there is hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Verse 6, also their love and their hatred and their envy is now perished. We're talking about those who go on to the next life. Neither have they any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun or on earth. Verse 7, go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart, for God now accepteth thy works. Let thy garments be always white. What's white garments mean? Without sin. Be righteous. Let thine head lack no ointment, or anointed by God. Live thou joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, or of this life on the earth, which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity. For that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. Now is the time to do all your work. Verse 11, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to all. For man also knoweth not his time. As the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. Verse 13, this wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. There was a little city, and a few men within it, and there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. The words of a wise man are heard in quiet more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. And wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. Chapter 10, dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savour. So doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honour. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but the fool's heart is at his left. Yea, also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to every one that he is a fool. If the spirit of the ruler rises up against thee, leave not thy place, or don't forget your position. For yielding pacifieth great offenses. Be submissive and long-suffering. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh a hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whosoever removeth stone shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby. If the iron be blunt, and he do not whet the edge, then must he put to more strength, but wisdom is profitable to direct. Verse 11, surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool is full of words. We saw this in contrast to the wise man, who is a few words. A man cannot tell what he shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? The labor of the foolish wearieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. And I believe this acts as a child. And thy princes eat in the morning. So they wake up, and what is their first thing? They pursue their desires and their lusts. That's not a sign of a good ruler. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season. And for strength they eat because they need, we've heard this saying, eat to live, not live to eat. It's good when your rulers are eating to live and not living to eat. Thy princes eat in due season for strength, and not for drunkenness. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands of the house droppeth through. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things, and this is true in the world. Verse 20, curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber, for a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. Chapter 11, getting very close. I think we only have 2 more chapters. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days, or give generously and without respect of persons. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall come upon the earth. And here is to give as a charitable act to 7 or 8 people. Give to many people. Give to whoever you can as the Lord directs, and give generously. Verse 3, if the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. We're going to go through a list of axioms. These are just statements of the obvious truth. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. If a tree shall fall toward the south or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the cloud shall not reap. And as thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor now how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. Verse 6, in the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thy hand, for thou knowest not whether shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. Truly the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. But if a man live many years, and rejoice in them all, and let him remember the days of darkness, for they shall be many, or remember and understand concerning this present evil world, and be sober about the condition of the world. All that cometh is vanity. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things God will bring thee into judgment. If you live a meaningless, careful life, you will answer before God. Therefore remove sorrow, and I think this should actually be anger here, from thy heart, and put away evil from thy flesh. For childhood and youth are vanity. Our last chapter, chapter 12. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days or the adverse days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in him. Verse 2, while the sun, or the light, or the moon, or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, while his favor is still upon you, while you're still receiving the good things he has for you, remember him, don't forget him. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, when adversity is coming all around you. And the door shall be shut in the streets, and the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail. Because man goeth to his long home, and mourners go about the streets. Or even the silver cord be loosed, and the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, and the wheel broken at the cistern. Verse 7, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. All will die, all will go to the grave, all will see and meet their Maker. Verse 8, vanity of vanities. We kind of go full circle here. And he's talking like he did at the very beginning. Saith the preacher, all is vanity. That's the condition of this world and all the pursuits of men. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. And so he did teach the people. He still taught the people knowledge. Yet he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. And the words of the wise are as goads or pricks that are used to make an animal move forward, poking them, and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, like nails that hold the building together, which are given from one shepherd. Verse 12, and further, by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. You could go on forever, but here is the conclusion. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. He could go on describing the vanity of this world forever. But here's the conclusion. Number one, fear God. This is the conclusion of the whole matter. What I've come to find out, this is where wisdom lies. Fear God. Reverence God. Let God be God in your life. And number two, keep His commandments. Obey Him. Submit to Him. For this is the whole duty of man. And that's amazing. I mean, this is true wisdom, divine inspired word. This is true. These two statements summarize all of the duty of man. Fear God. Let Him be God in your life. Keep His commandments. Obey Him. Submit to Him. This is the whole duty of man. For, the great moral government passage, He shall bring every work into judgment, whether every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. God will judge all things.